Welcome to Exposed Mechanics Exercise Demonstrations. Today we're going to talk about the box squat and why the box squat is so important to sprint performance. Now, the only reason we squat here at Exposed Mechanics is to sprint faster. I don't care what you squat at school. I don't care how you squat at school. Hey, Jared, that's not even a real squat. I don't care. All I care about is 40-yard dash improvements. And so the only reason we squat again is to sprint faster. So what I do is I squat all my athletes, hopefully 3 days a week, and at the end of each month, I go test them. So we'll squat, we'll go do our dumbbell jumps, and we'll use accessories to help build our squat and our dumbbell jumps so that at the end of each month, when we go over there and run and test, we get a positive result in a 40-yard dash. Now, I've had kids go from a 5.1 to a 4.5 with no running. Squat, jump, accessories, at the end of each month, test. And for the last 11 to 12 years, I've tested over 240-yard dashes per month for that amount of time. So no one in the world has seen or tested more 40-yard dashes than me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Dorsey here. We're going to demonstrate how we box squat and how you should properly do it, whether you want your feet wide or whether you want your feet closed. And I'll help you try to understand the difference in the box heights too. So for years, like I said, I've had people improve in the 40-yard dash without running. And that's how I know that this directly correlates to that over there. If we ran and we did other springy type or elastic type activities, we don't do any hurdle jumps. We don't do any box jumps. We strictly squat, dumbbell jump, and add our accessories in. And we get an average of 1/10 of a second off every person's 40-yard dash per month, regardless of body weight and regardless of height, regardless of pretty much age as well. So in this book here, I've got numbers where I've tracked. In 1 year, this kid went from running a 5.1 40-yard dash to a 4.5 40-yard dash just by squatting and jumping. His body weight went from 190 pounds to 205. So he gained 15 pounds and knocked off 0.6 of a second in his 40-yard dash. His vertical jump went from a 30.7 to a 42.3. This kid over here, over time, he went from running a 6.1 40-yard dash to running a 4.7 40-yard dash with a 19-inch vertical to a 38-inch vertical. Like I said, I can usually average a 1/10 of a second off someone's 40-yard dash per month. So this kid here ran a 5.1. This next month he did not test because his leg was hurt. Well, that should have been a 5 flat. Well, guess what? The next month was a 4.9, a 4.87, then a 4.81. This kid ran a 5.2, a 5.1, a 4.9, and he ran 4.9 2 months in a row. This kid ran a 5.1, a 5 flat, and a 4.9. And sometimes they'll just leave because I don't do those stupid speed drills, but I'm making them faster at the 40-yard dash. This kid right here, he went to a speed and agility place. Hey, Jared, y'all do speed and agility? Yes, we make them better at it. We don't do speed and agility drills, but I'll make them faster at the speed and agility if they trust the process. This kid over time, he went to a speed and agility place. They didn't squat. They just wanted to jump over hurdles. They wanted to do the fancy stuff that you see on Instagram. And he was competing against another guy. So 1 year, they both went to a baseball showcase. Both of them ran a 7.2 60-yard dash. Well, one kid was coming to me, and the other kid went to a speed and agility place. And usually when you go to those places, they're basically all of them do the same thing. The reason they don't squat them is because most athletes don't want to squat to get better, and they don't understand how important it is to squat. And most importantly, it's actually the box squat that makes them faster and just not like a regular squat. That's why these high schools locally and most people out there are not getting their athletes faster because they don't understand how to actually make the athletes stronger. They're using too many reps. We don't ever squat more than 5 reps here in the gym. So this kid went to a speed and agility place. And the next year, the kid that was coming to me ran a 6.6 60-yard dash, and the other one still ran a 7.2 60-yard dash. So that one kid went somewhere else and spent all that time and money and effort, did not get a lick faster. So comes to me because now the dad sees, how did that kid get so much faster? And he comes in, looks around the gym. Well, they can work out at high school, and they can work out. Yeah, you can, but most people don't understand how to make the athlete strong. If you allow a kid to go to a gym by themselves, they have absolutely no knowledge. Just because you do the squat don't mean you're going to get better at the squat. So anyway, this kid ran a 5.3, a 5.4, a 5.4, and a 5.3 his first month. I tested him 4 times on his first day. Well, guess what? The next month he ran a 5.2. Next month he ran a 5.1. The next month he ran a 5 flat. The next month he ran a 4.8. The next month he ran a 4.7. So we actually skipped the 4 9s. You heard that. 5.3, 5.2, 5.1, 5 flat, 4.8, 4.7. And this was done within an 8-month period. This kid went 5.2, 5.1, 5 flat. Over a year time, this kid went from a 6.2 to a 5.3. And all the way back here, I got a kid that went from a 4.8, a 4.7, a 4.6, and a 4.5. And so just by squatting, jumping, no running, no hurdle drills, none of that, my athletes are getting faster. And they say, why don't you, if I were to run them, or if I were to do those elastic activities with the kids, the most important thing for running and on-field performance is force production. How fast can you go from point A to point B? From here to where Dorsey's over there if you can't see him, or from here maybe to the dumbbells down there. When you're playing sports, you don't have time to get upright. When you're playing football, it's here, change the direction. And the way to change direction is to overcome your own inertia. The only way to overcome your own inertia quicker is to be strong relative to how much you weigh. And so when we box squat here, we use devices like these tendos to measure how fast we actually squat. And our boxes are a consistent height. I've got this, all our boxes, I've got this tape measure with the tape at 12 inches. And so if you see, we have a 12-inch box right here with a blue foam pad on top of it. And that foam pad is soft, so you actually almost go down. The reason we use the soft pad versus a hard pad, or have a box that height, so if I use a bench that height, we don't sink in. And so by that box allowing us to sink in a little bit more, it causes more leg drive, which we need to get out when we need to have starting strength for our 40-yard dash. How fast can we go from here to there quickly? And so it creates more leg drive. If I used a bench or something that same height, which would be 16 inches, the bench is too high because you don't sink in, and it's too hard. So once you got a harder pad, you actually use more hamstrings to get off of instead of more quads, which is the leg drive from our starting stuff. So, and at the gym here, I've got all my boxes taped to where you can't adjust the height of them. So every kid in here squats at a 12-inch box with a blue foam pad, a soft blue foam pad on top of it. If they increase the height of the box, I had a kid one year, even if we increase it, this is 1.5 inches. Or if we put this on that wood box, these can actually be adjusted. So each little hole in the box will make a 1-inch adjustment. And so a 1-inch adjustment on this box had a kid, he went from running a 4.8 to a 4.9 to a 5 flat. So I increased that box by that 1 inch, and his 40-yard dash got slower over the next couple of months. We moved it back down, and then immediately the next month it went back to a 4.8. And so I had a kid this past month, he was squatting with the blue box on top of that 2-inch red pad. And so he was squatting more weight, but it was messing up his ratio. So just because you squat a lot of weight, don't mean you're gonna be fast. Like I said, it needs to be a consistent 12 inches with a blue foam pad on top of it. And so once I had a kid this past month went from a 4.9 to a 5 flat because he wanted to add a green plate. They're trying to make the squat easier so that they can squat more weight, because they think if the more weight they squat, the faster they're gonna sprint. That's actually how much weight can you squat at a certain height at a certain speed. So I've been trying to hone in on this ratio thing for a while. Dorsey, you may want to do a rep so you don't cool off so much. I've been trying to hone in on the squat ratio. I had a kid, Jared, I got stronger, how come I did not get faster? Well, years ago when I was getting this guy ready to go to the Rams, I know that he went from squatting 1.42 times his body weight to 1.4 to 1.72 times his body weight, and he had a significant improvement in running speed without ever running. And so it's kind of crazy. You train someone for the pro day and you don't run them. And so that's that's trusting me to make sure that we're doing what I'm saying is doing right. So, like I said, a couple of years ago, I had a kid. Jared, I got stronger. How come I did not get faster? Well, I knew when that one kid went from 217 pounds to 235 pounds. So this one kid went from 217 pounds to 235 pounds body weight. His ratio went from a 142 to a 172. So he went from a 4.9 to a 4.6. And so over time, that was in my head. So I said, well, let's see what's the fastest you move at a 0.6. And so he moved 1.3 something times his body weight at a 0.6. And over time, after I tested people over and over, in the beginning, I did not have the ratios because I didn't start honing this in, like I said, for the past year and a half. Now that I've got it honed in, now I can almost be dead precise on what your ratio is. So this kid, he ran a 5 flat 40. His ratio was a 1.43. Okay, so 1.4 should yield a 5 flat. Well, I came up with this chart over here. If it goes 1.3 is a 5.1, 1.4 is a 5 flat, 1.5 is a 4.9, 1.6 is a 4.8, 1.7 is a 4.7, 1.8 is a 4.6, and 1.9 is a 4.5 40-yard dash. If you're squatting at this height. Now, last month, this is the guy that had the red pad under the blue box. He squatted 425 at a 6.0 at 249 pound body weight. Okay, so you take 425 at a 6, that's what he squatted at a 6, and you take the 425 and you divide it by 249, gave him a 1.7 ratio. Well, according to my chart over here, a 1.47 ratio, he should be running in the 4.7s. But he ran a 5.03, a 5.05, and a 5.09. And he was frustrated because the month before he ran a 4.9, so why didn't he get faster? Well, I told him, I said, look, we tested his 40, he ran a 5.03, 5.05, and a 5.09, so a 5 flat. So based off the knowledge that I have, I said, let's take 1.45 times that, because a 1.4-ish is going to yield a 5 flat 40. So I told him to go take 1.45 times his body weight, which is 249, equaled 361 pounds. So he came over here to this bar, put 365 pounds on it after he warmed up. Then we tried to see how fast he could move it at a 6. So I said, just to see if we get a 6, let's do 3 sets of 2. His first set, 6-0. Second rep, 5-3. Second set, 5-5, 5-2. Third set, 4-8, 4-1. So the fastest that he can move, 365 pounds, was a 6.0, which means that 1.45 times, it actually ended up being 1.46 times his body weight, yielded a 5.03 and a 5.05 40-yard dash for him. And so this one kid, he's ran a 4.78. He squatted 315 at a 6.1, which is 1.7 times his body weight. At 1.7 times his body weight, yielded a 4.78. This kid ran a 5.1. So, and his ratio was a 1.3. This other kid ran a 5.2, and his ratio was a 1.2. Now this 4.8, if he ran a 4.83 and a 4.86, he probably moved about 1.65 times his body weight at 6 meters per second. So he actually moved 1.68 at 0.60. So I know with the 4.8, the thing about the 4.8 and these ratios and how real they are, I had a kid, he was a running back from Birmingham, Southern, so he was a collegiate athlete. And one of the guys who plays football told him to come see me so we could work on his pro day stuff. So the first thing he did, he came in the gym, I got his body weight. After I got his body weight, I tested his 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.81 and a 4.83 or a 4.81 and a 4.82, somewhere in that low 4.8 range. And I knew, okay, well, I know this kid, Dylan, he weighed 235 pounds. He ran, what did Dylan do? He squatted 1.64 times his body weight, and he ran roughly the same thing, but he weighed 140 pounds. Well, this other kid, he weighed roughly 183 pounds, and he ran a 4.8, almost the same thing what Dylan ran. That's why I'm trying to say it's not the body weight that matters, it's the ratio. And so I told that kid, let's go put 1.65 times your body weight on the bar, and I want you to go do 4 sets of 4. And so I sent him over here to squat. He may squat with Dorsey or somebody else. And I went over there and I got distracted and I forgot about him, and I came back over here to this rack. and I was asking this other kid about his numbers and how was his speeds looking and things. And the kid I told to come squat that I never even seen squat before, he plugs in, he goes, the fastest I get is a 0.6. And I stopped the gym because I've never seen this kid squat before, but I sent him over here to box squat, and I wrote his box squat weights based off his body height and his 40-yard dash. And so I stopped the gym. I said, look, I want to tell you how much of a genius I am. And so how real these numbers and this ratio is. And so I just never seen this kid squat before, and I dialed him in perfectly at 0.6 meters per second based off his height, based off his body weight and his 40-yard dash time. And so even if you look at Dorsey, who's going to demonstrate the box squat for us, Dorsey ran a 4.88, and he squatted 1.63 times his body weight. So 1.6 should yield what? 4.8. So that 165, so that kid squatted 165, and he ran a 4.83. Dorsey squatted a 163, ran a 4.88. So then Dorsey went from 215 body weight to 220 body weight, but his ratio went from 1.6 to 1.63 to 1.70. Well, a 1.7 should yield a 4.7. He actually ran a 4.77. And so he stayed at 220 body weight, ran a 4.73, but his ratio went from 1.7 to 1.77, so he ran a 4.73. So we're still in that range. And so I had a kid even super slow. He squatted 0.94 times his body weight. He didn't even squat 1.0, it was 0.94. And he ran a 5.7 40-yard dash. And I told him that you're so slow because you're so weak. If you're weak, you're slow. This other kid, he ran a 5.00 40. He moved 280 at a 6.4, which is 1.45 times his body weight, which yielded at 5 flat. Now, this other kid, he weighed 240 pounds. You got kids on this chart from 249 all the way down to 157 pounds. So that's why it don't matter about their weight. Hey, Jared, how much they weigh? It don't matter how much they weigh. It matters how much are they squatting relative to their body weight at 0.6 meters. Again, how much relative to their body weight at 0.6 meters per second. And so that kid weighed 157. He ran a 4.83 and a 4.86. So if he ran a 4.83, he should be roughly squatting 1.6 times his body weight. That's exactly what he did. This kid ran a 5.11. So if a 5 flat's a 4.5, a 5.1 should be a 1.3. Well, a 5.11 and a 5.12, he squatted 1.32 times his body weight. And so over time, let's pull out these folders and all these numbers because everything matters about these numbers. And I'm gonna get to how we squat and how we should box squat if you want to get faster numbers. This kid came in, he ran a 5.01 and a 5.04 40-yard dash at 196 pounds. Well, you take 280, he can only move 285 at 0.61. So you take 285, divide by his body weight, which was 196, gave a 1.45 times body weight. So 1.45 yielded 5 flat. Well, the next month he ran a 4.9, and the next month he ran a 4.78 and a 4.79. But his body weight went to 203. So he went from 196 pounds to 203 pounds. But he went from a 5.140 to a 4.740. So a 4.78 and a 4.79. What ratio is that? So if it's a 4.7, it's a 1.7. So he squatted 1.74 times his body weight. So 355 divide 203 gives me that 1.74 times body weight, which yielded that 4.7 40-yard dash. And this goes true, I may have already said it, people from 5'8" all the way up to 6'2". I've even had people at 5'4". Now let me tell you the difference in the box squat and the regular squat. I had 2 kids at one time, and the one kid wanted a regular squat, and the other kid didn't care. He wanted a box squat because he also went to a speed and agility. He didn't go to the same speed and agility place the other kid did. He went to a different one. I got multiple people around me. So he went somewhere else because he needed to work on running. Hey, let's do this. Let's work on our mechanics and not our power. So guess what? He went somewhere else, came back a year later. He ran a 5.1 40-yard dash with me, skipped a year, came back, ran another 5.1 40-yard dash. I took a picture of his folder and I sent it to his dad because in 1 year, did not get faster. That's 2 people I know. And so that I compared. They go out and they come back. I had some kids that went that left because they thought high school weight training would do better. Well, one of them went from running a 5.8 to a 5.3, so a significant improvement here. Went 7 months of high school training, came back, ran a 5.3. 7 months later, ran a 5.3. That's why these high school coaches and all these people out there don't understand, hey, you're squatting, not to get fat. I think you need to go do running drills. No, you need to teach people how to get freaking stronger. You know, I think most people don't even know how to create strength, so they come up with these gimmicks and these drills that make, hey, that's a hard drill. Like I told this kid, he was trying to do a bird dog row where he held 1 foot up on the bench and 1 arm out and row. And he was only using 55 pounds. Well, they said to do this. I said, the only thing you're doing to stabilize is when in sports or you're having an isometric contraction. And he said, well, it's hard. I don't give a crap if it's hard. They'll make up something. I feel it in my stomach. I don't care. The action is rowing. So if he was rowing, and he's capable of only doing a 100-pound dumbbell for rowing, he's only using 55 pounds, he was not even using 50% of his potential. And how are you going to get stronger doing that? You're not. You have to lift at a certain minimum percentage. If you look at my Instagram and read those articles I posted on strength and how critical it is to lift above 80% to get stronger and more explosive, when you're doing 50%, you're wasting your time. No wonder all these people go to the gym and never get better. They go to the gym, they do an exercise, and they don't see the benefit of it because they don't know how to load it properly in order to increase the strength with it. So I had these 2 kids. And it was identical. It was the most perfect thing, as close to perfect as you can get in a gym. They had the same body structure. They had about the same body weight. They both squatted 315 at 0.6 meters per second. And this one kid said he wanted to be strong in his high school weight room. Okay, so you're going to be that typical kid who's a beast in the weight room that has no transferability to the field. All right, good in the weight room, shitty on the field. A lot of people out there criticize the strength game because of that crap right there. And so this is how real the box squat is. And the reason the box squat is so important is because it's a method of squatting. It's a static dynamic method. And so with using a static dynamic method, you can create absolute strength and rate of force development at the same time. With a regular squat, you're just increasing absolute strength without the rate of force development. So by going down, stopping on the box, we're letting our kinetic energy dissipate so that our nervous system has to work harder to fire on the tissues to make the tissue contract so that we can stand up. And so I try to explain all this science and how it all works and try to show this kid motor neurons and all this other stuff. And I don't care, Jared, I want to squat like we do at squat school. I said, I don't care if you squat 800 pounds at school. If you're not faster, you're not going to play because you can't come off the ball like you need to. I don't care. Whatever. So we're in here squatting. He was going to regular. I let him regular squat. And his friend, we box squatted because his friend had to get faster, didn't really care. So the next month, the start of the month, they ran 5-1. The next month, one of them ran a 5-1, and the other one ran a 5 flat. Well, 5-1, 5 flat, that kid, still not enough to buy into box squatting. Well, the next month, he ran a 5-1 again. So 5-1, 5-1, 5-1, and now his friend ran a 4-9. I don't care, Jared, I'm still going to regular squat because that's how we do it at school. Whatever. So the next month, his friend ran a 4.8 and he ran a 5.2. So he actually got a touch slower. And then the next month, the kid ran a 4.7 40-yard dash and the kid stayed at 5.2. So now we are half a second difference in the 40-yard dash and the kid still did not want it. He just quit coming. Well, the kid that ran the 4.77 ended up getting a scholarship. The kid that ran a 5.1, 5.2 ended up not going anywhere. Because when you go to a football camp or you go anywhere else out there, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to test you in the 40. Then what they're going to do, they're going to look at the numbers. Ooh, who ran this 5.5? Who ran this 4.9? Who ran this 4.6? Oh, who's that? What's their name? So they're going to look at the numbers, then they're going to look at the name, then they're going to ask for the film. No one in the world is that popular unless they've been in the NFL for so long that they're going to automatically know that kid's name. That kid has had to have done something to make them want to fit in that mold with that team. And so I had those 2 examples. And I had a girl, if I could find it real quick. Now this goes, I've given examples of people reaching a 4.5 40-yard dash off the box squat. Well, it also works for super slow turtle people as well. This girl was running a 7.8 40-yard dash and a 7.9. You know how slow a 7.8, 7.9? That is freaking ridiculous. Her 20-yard dash was a 4.3. So, I mean, this was pretty slow, but this goes to show you the box squat. 7.8, 7.7, 7.3, 7.2, 6.88. 1, 2, 3, 4. In 5 months, we went from a 7.8 to a 6.8. and that was all box squat, because I'm trying to prove these people that if they squat here and they box squat, they'll continue to get faster each month. Well, she's been here long enough. Hopefully they buy in. And so I started regular squatting because I was trying to create some more structure. So we regular squatted. We went from a 6'8" to a 7 flat to a 7'1". Oh, I said, oh shit, just like that other person that was stronger, we switched how they were squatting and they were significantly getting slower. Well, I gave her the box squat back. We went from a 7 flat, 7'1", gave her the box back. She went back to a 6'9". And so over time, as you can see, it's very critical that we box squat, because again, it's a static dynamic method that allows us to increase rate of force development and absolute strength at the same time. But like I said before, the height of the box matters. Like that one kid, he squatted 1.7 times his body weight, but only ran a 5 flat 40. And I told him to come over here and just use the blue pad like it's supposed to be. Bam, ratio matched right up. So if Dorsey's not too cold, we're gonna get him a box squat. You're gonna go 365 or you're set 385?
I'll say this.
We'll say this. All right. So y'all see how long I've been talking. This is Dorsey. He's 16 years old. We got 385 pounds on the bar. And he's got his feet narrow. Now look, the people who squat wide like that are not getting the 40-yard dash improvements. Remember, it's about force production. We need to get force into the ground. And I know a lot of people squat wide and they wanted to say that. We need leg drive. So let's see what Dorsey can do. Is that you got 10 over there, and I brought one over here. It's kind of fuzzy here. So let's see what he's got. Sit. Up. Boom. One more. Come on. Sit. Long. Jump. Back. So I don't know how long he's been resting, but if we like to rest 5 minutes between our squat sets. So I'm going to sit here and talk a little bit more, allow him to rest and recover. We got 16-year-old Dorsey that ran a what was your fastest? 4.73 40-yard dash? And he squatted to get that 4.73 40-yard dash. 4.7 equals 1.7 something. What did you do, Dorsey? 4.73, you weighed 220 pounds, you squatted 390 at 0.63. That was 1.77 times his body weight. So 390 at 6'3". He just squatted 385 with a long rest at a 0.55. So if we let him rest a little bit longer, he'll probably get, with this 385, he'll probably get a 6'3" or somewhere around, he'll get a 6 with it. Okay, that just goes to show you, we got young kids producing great force. And also the thing about Dorsey's learned, you know, I said, Jared, hey, why don't you run? Why don't you do all this running? And because they'll think the running got him faster. And Dorsey here, I had him, before he went into his freshman year of high school, he ran a 4.8 40-yard dash. All right, so first year of high school, football coaches want you to run track. Hey, I need to go run track. Well, guess what track does? Track made him slower because they overrun him and they don't really technically know. I mean, you got better at the 100. His 100-yard dash improved. But what happened to your 40-yard dash?
Went down like 0.4.
Yeah, so he went from running a 4.88 to what?
Like a 5.2.
A 5.2 40-yard dash. During track season. Well, guess when track season ends? May. Guess when camp for football is? When they're going to test their 40s? June and July. So we don't have time to go from a 5.2 back down to a 4.8 in a few weeks. So that, if he's going to be a football player, that just messed him up. Okay? So the next year, they wanted him to run track. And I tried to explain to him the year before, you're going to get slower through track season. How does that work? I'm running. Well, I had another kid that was coming here. He was a 5'8" kid. He went from running a 5'8" to a 6'2", almost identical, 0.4 of a second lost. And he was a much younger kid. And so I had another kid. He went from running a 5'3" to a 5'7" in track season. And it's so hard and frustrating for me to tell, because everybody thinks you got to run to get faster. I'm here to tell you, Dorsey's here. All these people that have come here, you can look on my Instagram, all these people that have come through here, we'll tell you what we do. We squat, we jump, we get accessories, and this is just like a lab. This whole weight room and this everything, if I do my job and program them right, and they do what I ask, and if they're consistent, again, consistency is the key, I'll go over there, it's kind of like my lab here, Boom, the turf's over there just for testing purposes. We don't do bag drills, we don't do hurdle jumps, we don't do all this fancy stuff that you see people doing. You don't all these little speed gurus. Hey, let's do a wall drill. You see this action when they're doing against wall? You know what action that is? That's squatting. So if you're not increasing your horsepower, you're not gonna move anywhere. Is your car gonna go? I guarantee you, if I had a 600 horsepower car and you had a 200 horsepower car, I'll kick your ass every time, regardless how much my car weighs. And so that's what we're doing. Let's see if Dorsey can get a 6 right here at this 385. I know it's kind of hard to pick up on that camera for some reason. It's not allowing real fuzzy here, right there. Let's see what Dorsey's got. 385, 16-year-old Dorsey, 473 40-yard dash. Feet close together. Hold your breath. Sit. Right. 6-1, 4. Let's do one more. Come on, Dorsey. Sit. Right. Boom. 6-1 again. Rack. All right, so, did you check your body weight today?
Yeah.
What was it?
219.
219. Okay, so he's probably going to be at that same 1.77 ratio. You see how long we sat over here? Had his feet here. Sat, still, boom, accelerate. Okay? He's got a tendo here that he looks at and records his times with, so he knows what he did. And this is for y'all to see. That actually over there said 0.63. So the tendo units were roughly off a little bit, but is it gonna catch this right here? Can you see a 6.3? All right, so that's 6.3, 219, 1.77. That's hard proof. I gave y'all video proof. I tried to give everybody examples of hardcore truth. And I got people that come in, Jared, I don't like what you're doing. I don't care. Hey, Jared, I never really liked box squats. I don't care. I only think, look, the only reason we're squatting box squat is because it actually physically makes us faster in the 40-yard dash. Our 40-yard dash is complete laser time. And so when I'm saying these numbers, they're based off a Brower timing system, not that free lap where you got this little Bluetooth window gap where you're gonna have better start times than I am. Our 20 to 40 is gonna be the same. So if someone's running a 4.77 in here on my system, they may be running a 4.6 or high 4.5 on the free lap system. My system's a little bit tighter, a lot more accurate because it's got a little box here at your head. So as soon as your hand flinches, it picks up your time. And so instead of having that gap, so if you got a gap window from here to here, but the free lap, your first 10 and 20 is gonna be off. And so, but I was talking to people across the country that our 20 to 40 times are identical. So the timing system's there, the difference is the start. So when you hear me say 4.7, 4.5, they used to use this system here in the NFL Combine. It's a complete laser system. It's gonna give you concrete numbers. Now, Dorsey, come here. Dorsey has been running on this complete laser system. Dorsey, years ago, started off at a 5.6 40-yard dash. And he'd come once a month, and Jared, I'm not getting fast. I said, Dorsey, you have to come here more often. Well, the next, I think he ran a 5.6. Next month he ran a 5.6, and the next month he came twice a week, and he showed that he got faster over there at 40-yard dash. So guess what, Dorsey? How many days a week you come now? Every day, because over time you've learned how important it is to squat and stay consistent with it. And how many times have you ever regular squatted here? Never. If I, like that other kid, and I showed that example of the girl. Now, if they want to get faster, we're box squatting. Now, some kids, if they're super short and they're super young, I will regular squat them. But we're not squatting to go to powerlifting competition. We're not squatting to be the best in the high school weight room. We're box squatting here because it actually makes you run a faster 40-yard dash with no running. And all the kids, I had kids come down from Georgia Tech. I had kids come down from Georgia State. I had kids come up from Auburn. I've got kids that come from an hour and a half up north. I got kids that come from all over. And once they stay, those kids are driving down from Tech, which is an hour, maybe 15 minutes from here with traffic, 3 days a week, just to squat only because they know it's making them faster. Just like that one kid here. 5 flat, 4.9, 4.7. We skipped the 4.8 range. Box squat. Look how many numbers and stuff on the back of this folder. We went from jumping a 32-inch vertical to a 39-inch vertical, okay? And we recorded our squat numbers. Everything else is not really recorded except for the squat speeds, because the squat speeds and sets and reps and how we do it is so important to improving our squat. And we base everything. We start off at a 0.6, then we wave and ramp up from there. But again, this video is to show you sit, explode, you don't touch and go. If you increase the box, by even this little green weight, does not look very high, okay? But it makes a big difference in the squat. Dorsey, let's use that red pad. You squatted at 0.61 and a 0.63. Now we're gonna switch up the pad just so that y'all see. We're gonna switch it to a red pad like that. All right, now we'll get a hardcore demonstration of what changing the box height does to a squat speed number. Okay? Let's see what happens. Probably a 7.7. Sit, good. 7.1. Up. 7.4. What's that one say?
It's not going.
All right, back, that's good. Probably resting a little long, but a 7.4 at the same weight. You know, we went from a 6.1 on this thing to a 4.7. I meant to a 0.74. So increasing the box height, that will mess up his ratio. Then if you're messing your ratio up, you're not going to understand or get the same 40-yard dash times that I am. And you've got these kids that have come here and didn't like that we didn't do speed agility, but we're getting faster. How many days a week do you squat, Dorsey? 3 days a week. 16 years old. 16-year-old kid can handle that. He's got football practice, he's got football workouts, and he comes here and getting faster. Look, I had just to show you the difference, I had a freshman high school guy, Dorsey benched 325 before he got out of his sophomore year. This summer he benched 335 at 16 years old. Had a freshman this past year bench 315. Well, him and this high school junior in January had the same bench max. Now that high school freshman out benches the high school junior by 50 pounds. And is that, what are y'all doing? And so then that guy started coming in because the way I can increase the strength of somebody is much quicker than anywhere else out there. And so that force production and that power is very important. Dorsey, how many times have you ever squatted over 5 reps?
Never.
Never. How many years have you been coming here?
7.
Yeah. We don't ever squat over 5 reps. And I think that's the problem. Hey, Jared, I heard someone say that they squatted and they got slower. Well, were they squatting for speed? Were they regular squatting? That one kid that regular squatted went from a 5.1 to a 5.2. If you regular, and if you don't, you know, we don't ever squat over 5 reps. And so that one kid, I asked the dad, why didn't that guy believe in squatting? They were doing sets of 8 to 10. That's way too many. You know, if you look at the Hennon and size principle, you got to look at how the fibers are recruited and which order they're recruited in. You know, like for the people that like that 1x20 program. If you go 1x20, your fast twitch fibers, which are your high threshold motor units, don't get called upon until the fatigue state. So your smaller fibers, your intermediate fibers, then your high threshold motor units, which are your fast twitch fibers, are not tapped into until you're in a fatigue state. So if you're trying to teach someone to explode off the line like a 40-yard dash, or explode off the line in football, or if you're a linebacker and you got to have a quick first step so you can fill that hole, those high threshold motor units are not used to being called upon immediately. So once you load someone at the proper load, you can make your small, your intermediate, and your fast twitch fibers fire at optimal discharge frequency all at the same time. So now you're calling upon all fibers immediately. And so that method could be the brief maximum tension method. Some people like to popularize the maximum effort method. We use brief maximum tension because we get the same neuromuscular adaptations with the brief maximum tension, and we get a little bit more volume in because these kids are not elite strength athletes. So we have to squat more. And so we squat very frequently. So if you understand the different capabilities of the fibers and the motor units, you will know how to call them out when you need them. So we'll take This is called strength speed. We're squatting strength and speed. So we're squatting in a proper velocity range, with proper speed at a certain load that yields these specific adaptations. Then we go jump. So basically the squatting is giving you a substance, it's giving you a knife. So it gave Dorsey a pretty good knife. We go over there to our jumps. Then now we're over there at speed strength exercise, which sharpens and tones the nervous system fire. So now we're squatting, we're jumping, without even running, we're sprinting faster. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Dorsey, thank you for doing these exercise demonstrations. Thank you, Brett, for filming. If you have any questions, please feel free, reach out to me, email me, info@explosmechanics. Sometimes y'all message me on Instagram. I don't really look at that a whole lot. So anyway, I hope this video shows you how we box squat and kind of what the ratios does and what the box squat actually does with hard evidence. Numbers don't lie. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.